Hey guys, how you doing? Here we are, as always, on Tuesday nights. So I'm having a pretty good start to the week. Hopefully you are as well. The intention for this week, there it is. I step into newness. I step into newness. Hey to everybody who's stopping in the comments to say hi. I'm doing pretty good, thanks for asking. Yeah, it's been a good start to this week. If you're from the United States, we had the long holiday Labor Day weekend, if that's something that you're able to take a little break with. I've spent a lot of my adult years working holidays, so I totally understand the major ones and the minor ones, depending on your own opinion there. So those that have to work holidays and aren't able to join in with other people, things like that, here in the United States, totally get that. Also totally totally aware that there's lots of places where people don't get holidays, so there's that part there. Anyways, this week I step into newness. Every Sunday, the intention is released on Meditative Astrology Facebook page, Instagram page, the community tab on the YouTube page, as well as meditativeastrology.com. That's your hub for all the meditative astrology things. You can find replays there. You can find reading bookings there. You can find the new intention. You can find blurb about me if you're interested in that. All of those things. So this week, when I was looking at what was going on and coming up with the intention, again, we have a lack of exact aspects. We haven't had a whole lot of those recently. The ones we've had have been pretty big ones, but we have some major changes going on, even though we don't have exact aspects going on. So we've been talking about Venus retrograde for what seems like forever, and we can stop talking about Venus retrograde because Venus is now stationing to go direct. So she's going to start moving forward. 12 degrees Leo, 13 degrees Leo. Didn't write it down. So Venus is stationing to go direct. So she's went through Leo. You're going to get tired of me hearing this, but last time you got to hear me say it, okay? She's went through a majority of Leo in direct motion. She's went through the very middle part of Leo, and again, the majority of Leo, in a backwards motion through retrograde, retracing those degrees. Now she's stationing, and she's stationing to go direct again. The stationing periods, those are really, really intense energy periods. So if you're feeling an intensity, let's say today, yesterday, and tomorrow, very good chance that that has something to do with it. Intense desires and drives and pulls, callings, yearnings, all of those Venus things that we've been talking about, those may be pretty strong right now. So that's why. At the same time, we have Jupiter stationing to go retrograde. So they're going to flip-flop. Venus is going direct. Jupiter is going retrograde. Jupiter will stay retrograde until the end of the year. That is, Jupiter's retrograde period is much longer, so that is typical. So we have Venus going direct, we have Jupiter going retrograde, and then we have Mercury cazimi. So Mercury has been retrograde itself and has been making its way back towards the sun. It's been during the retrograde period and whatnot, you often hear me talk about Mercury being under the beams of the sun or being in combustion. That, like, we talk about the cazimi and the time around it. I've mentioned it before, where like the time where where the planet is under the beams of the sun. So say within like 10 degrees of the sun, but not exactly conjoined the sun. That's kind of like a weakening state for the planet. However, Mercury is in its own sign, so that crosses out the weakening part of it. It doesn't have that weakening effect when it's in its own sign, when it's on its home sign, like it is in Virgo right now. So we have an empowered Mercury, okay? We have a diplomatic and dignified Mercury in the sign of Virgo. Coming into Cazimi with the Sun within a matter of hours from where we are right now, matter of fact. So new phases, new stages. Venus has recently started a new synodic cycle. Mercury is starting its new synodic cycle. Mercury cycles only last about 3 months, I think 88 days, but nonetheless, it's a new cycle that's starting. Jupiter, not starting a new synodic cycle necessarily, but starting a new phase within its cycle, starting its retrograde period where it's going to start to move backwards. So I step into newness. With the planets, we are stepping into newness right now. We're stepping into new phases, okay? We're coming off of this very long Venus retrograde, which has, it's rocked a lot of people. I've seen some people where it's been really, really great for, but I've also seen quite a few people that have had different struggles or hardships of different things. All of the, there's been so many relationship things and things related to desires and the things that we want and the things that make us feel fulfilled, things related to money and bringing balance and bringing harmony. In those areas where Leo and Taurus are in your chart, every single person that I know, and I know their chart, and I've seen their chart, it is playing out where the Venus Taurus house signs are within their chart. It's playing out within this retrograde in some fashion. I don't see anybody that has been untouched by this, but now we're moving forward, okay? I step into newness. So we're stepping into something new. And this isn't something that I have done. I don't know if I've actually ever done this here, but I decided I was going to pull a tarot card for tonight. So lots of people use tarot cards for different reasons or in different ways. I have been around tarot literally my entire life. My mom has always been a psychic and a tarot card reader. But it's only, just like full disclaimer, it's only been within the last, I don't know, couple years that I've really started playing with them and using them and seeing where the intuition guides me myself. So I decided tonight, I don't know, stepping into newness, maybe for the first time ever, that I would pull a tarot card. Just the intention when I was pulling the card was, what message from the deck should we bring forward into our meditation, into our message for tonight? And let's see if we can get it to focus. Okay, the Tower card. So all decks are a little bit different with their artwork. My deck here, the Affirmators Tarot card deck. Oh, you can't see it super great here. Let me try to get it to focus. Maybe if I hold it back a little bit further, you can get it to focus and see that. The Tower card. So the Tower card is, as you can see, it's very like catastrophic looking. So we have a tower with lightning bolts striking it. The tower is broken in half. There's flames below. And in this deck, instead of a person, it shows a swan that is falling down into the flames. So the tarot card. The Tower tarot card. Let's put this here for right now. Let's see. There we go. We'll put them right there. So when the Tower card comes around, you have dramatic or drastic change. You have upheavals and changes. You have truths that are revealed. You have people that show their true sides and their true selves. You have mistreatment. You have malfunctions. You have surprises. You have skeletons in the closet coming out. The Tower card feels a lot like what Venus retrograde square Uranus has been like for many, many people. the upheavals, the changes, the seeing true colors, the taking off the rose glasses and seeing things for the way they really are. Maybe it's not something physical. Hopefully it isn't something physical that has hit you. But maybe something mental, maybe something spiritual, maybe something emotional. Lots and lots of people over this summer have been affected in one way or another with some sort of heaviness, okay? Feels very much like the Tower, honestly. And I know this is sounding really heavy and maybe sounding a little doom and gloomy, but it's okay to admit when things have been hard. And what did we talk about at the beginning of this retrograde? We talked about how when you have retrograde motion, you have 3 passes of contact of a planet. So Venus squaring Uranus. It's going to happen for a 3rd time. It's already happened twice. It's going to happen a 3rd time. The 3rd time it comes around, and this is where I'm going with the Tower card and with what comes of it, because good things can come from hard and difficult things. Often when you have a Tower-like experience, you will grow stronger, you will grow wiser, you will become more knowledgeable throughout the process, and afterwards you're able to, it's kind of like the hindsight thing, you gotta wait until afterwards, but in hindsight you see how resilient you really are, and you might develop new perspectives somehow. You might have new thoughts or new practices or new habits or new people or newness of some kind that comes into your life as a result or as a byproduct of the Tower of the clash that happens. So it's like the falling and the clash, but then the build back up of the tower, right? After it falls down, it's going to have to be built back up. So although the Tower card, when we see it, is kind of one of those things that just kind of like, oh no, it makes our heart sink, like what's going to happen? That's kind of what we've been going through all summer long here. So now we're going to step into newness, and now we're going to reap the benefits of the Tower card. And the Tower experience that we have all been having on a collective level and on a personal level. So I step into newness. Venus going direct, stepping into a new phase, stepping into this post-Tower area where she's going to, she's going to make her way back through Leo. She's gonna waltz right through the destruction and the crumbling tower that has crumble down around her, but maybe it's a tower that she doesn't necessarily need anymore, something like that. Jupiter going retrograde, introspection of the teacher. So Jupiter, wisdom, abundance, knowledge, information, philosophy, religion and spirituality, all of those philosophical type things. So it's reviewing those philosophies that are deep within us. It's reviewing the teachings that are within us, reviewing what we know and what we need to learn. So it's kind of, I find it kind of interesting that as Venus is going through this this direct phase, this last phase, this post-shadow phase, it's often called. The post-shadow of the retrograde is when the planet is making its way back through those degrees it's already traced over. But in this post-shadow period that we're in, Venus has this more like Jupiterian wisdom, this more abundant knowledge and philosophy and just inherent wisdom within her. So that's going within Venus, right? Well, Jupiter now is retrograde, so going within, Jupiter's going within itself. It just kind of feels to me like the two play along there. Hopefully you're kind of following my drift here and what I'm getting at with that. But I step into newness. I think it all boils down to, let's all take a nice big deep breath and move forward and step into something different, because where we've been, it's been a while. We've been here a while. We're ready to move on, right? I think I step into newness. I think this intention is very, very broad and very open-ended. I totally encourage you to take the intention of I step into newness and add more words onto it. Always encouraging you all to change it and do whatever it is that you need to. So yeah, I find our intention this week to be very very refreshing and very much uplifting in a way. Just very, very lightening. And I think lightening is something that many of us need. Things have been just very heavy, and there's been a lot to deal with, and you know, there's been hardships, and there's been breakups, and there's been turmoil, and there's been conflict between people, and there's been, you know, unmet desires and unmet needs and wants. So now that heavy stuff, it's time to take a deep breath and step into newness. Okay? So that's where we're at for this week. Step into newness. I have already said this intention to myself several times this week, and it's only Tuesday. So just putting that out there. Let's get ready to light our intentional candle. And as we light the candle, and as you see the flame ignite and grow, I encourage you to say the intention, whether it's out loud or to yourself silently or quietly, however you are comfortable. But say that intention and say it loud, say it proud, whether that's out loud or silently. Took a little effort tonight. I step into newness. I step into newness. Phase changes, direction changes, introspective changes. Let's close our eyes. Let's find our breath and step into newness together, shall we? Find a nice, comfortable seated position. If seated doesn't work for you, laying down, standing, or however you find comfortable is just fine. I want you to start by focusing on where your body is connected to the surface below you. So if you're in a seated position, start by feeling your sit bones, the bones of your pelvic region, your lower pelvic region, maybe your legs, maybe your thighs, maybe your feet. If you're laying down, maybe it's your back. Maybe it's your feet. Maybe you're in a standing position. So let's start by focusing on that area where our body is connected to the surface below us. Feel the ground below you. Feel your connection to Mother Earth. Feel your connection to this body, to this life. Let's take a breath in, inhale, and as you exhale, slowly, slowly exhaling, releasing and relaxing into that surface below you, feeling that connection to earth like you have never felt before. A new connection, a deeper, stronger connection. It's Virgo season. The sun is in Virgo, Mercury is in Virgo, and the two are ready to connect in an earth sign. Grounding yourself into the earthly nature of Virgo. Virgo's nature is earthly and connected, but changeable and flexible at the same time. Ruled by Mercury anyways. I want you to start to feel that grounded feeling, that stable feeling that you have in your lower body, and feel it to slowly start to creep up. It's starting in your legs, your ankles, perhaps it moves up to your knees. Moving up to your lower abdomen, grounded, protected, and cared for. This grounded feeling continues to move up your torso, and you feel your body lock into place while still having a gentle flexibility. Pliability for your breath, movements of your body, yet you are stable. feeling continues to move up to your chest. Noting any other sensations that come along with this grounded feeling. As it continues to move up, shoulders to your head, filling out your ears and your nose, your cheeks. This energy continues to move up. This grounded feeling extends above your head, beams up into the sky, where you are now connected to the ground below you and to the sky above you. Supported by both the heavens above and Mother Earth below us. As above, so below. As within, so without. You feel firm and grounded, connected to the earth with your lower body, yet your upper body feels light and buoyant, connected to the sky and the ethers above us. The support and the love of the universe, the infinite knowledge of the Absolute, this buoyancy feeling begins to take over. And although you still feel connected to the ground, you still feel safe. You start to feel yourself rising up, slowly rising up into the air, towards the sky, slowly moving up towards the clouds, and as you slowly start to move through the clouds, through the condensation, you hear the intention. I step into newness. It's waiting for you on the other side of those clouds, the other side of the fog. There's been a lot going on. You've had some hard days, weeks, or even months. It's okay. That is all behind you now. And now you sit atop the clouds, grounded and secured, while still floating above. You see a nice, bright, brilliant sunlight shining in your direction. Suddenly, you can see oh so far. Sunlight doesn't blind you and make it difficult to see. It illuminates your path, the land around you, all of the truths. As Venus stations to move direct, Jupiter stations to retrace its steps in a retrograde fashion. Introspection of the teacher. Reviewing the lessons learned and the knowledge going forward. Honoring the wisdom and the abundances that we do have in our life, rather than the desires that we long and yearn for, that we have spent so much time desiring and yearning for. New philosophies, new teachings, new understandings, new views, new beliefs are all coming your way. Mercury at the heart of the sun, stepping into newness, stepping into a new cycle. So let's step into newness. Let's step into a new cycle the way Mercury is stepping into its new cycle this time around. From a well-mannered, dignified position, a place of problem solving, a place of comprehension, and a place of understanding. I step into something new. I step into the aftermath of the tower. I step into the rebuilding. I take the upheaval and turn it into something beneficial. New phases, new cycles, new abundances, and new blessings. I step into newness. I step into newness. Repeat that intention out loud with me together. I step into newness. And as you do, in your mind's eye, you see a door appear in front of you. I step into newness. Looking at that door, you continue to repeat the intention to yourself. I step into newness. Taking a step towards the door. I step into newness. Taking another step towards the door. I step into newness. One more step towards the door and you're able to reach the handle. I step into newness. Holding the door handle, gripping it tight, feeling its cold touch below your hand. You slowly start to turn the door knob, push open the door, and it swings open so easily. And as you take a step through that door, you move from one phase, from one cycle to a next. Shutting the door and moving forward. Onward and upward. Bringing my hands together, palms touching, thumbs to my heart space, plugging into the connection to my soul, which connects to each and every one of you. The divine light in me honors and recognizes the divine light in you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I know I always say that a lot at the beginning and at the end, but thank you. I appreciate it so much more than I could ever tell you. Seriously. So I step into newness. I really want this intention to feel like a breath of fresh air in a way. You know, that doesn't mean that we open that door in our meditation and we walk through it and we shut it and whatever's behind us, like we never have to go back into that room ever again and we never have to deal with the stuff that's in there. We're just shutting the door for now and we're taking a deep breath and taking a moment for ourselves to move forward, okay? Not focusing on maybe what's, I don't know, maybe not focusing on what's behind us in that back door for a little while and just focusing on what's in front of us. Venus starting to move direct. When she moves forward into Virgo, that will really bring some changes, but things are going to start to change. The wheels are going to start to move here. Beginning of the summer, we said it was going to be a long summer and it was going to be kind of a long haul, but here we are. Now it's September and summer is unfortunately pretty much over with. So yeah, I step into newness. Venus direct, huge shift, huge change. Remember that any of those planets or anything that you have in the sign of Taurus, within those middle degrees there, are going to be hit one last time by Venus. So that's where we come into what we learn from the Tower, okay? The things that we learn from the upheaval, the things that we learn from the discomfort and the struggle and what makes us squirm. You learn from that. If you don't, it's going to come back around again. I totally believe that we have lessons we're here to learn, and if you don't learn them the first time around, they're going to keep coming back around. So you start finding yourself in the same situation. At least myself, I always ask myself, okay, what am I not learning from this? Because here I am again, doing the same damn thing one more time. That's that like last phase, that very much Jupiter retrograde, that inward expression of Jupiter, the inward knowledge, the stuff that comes from within us, is going to start to come out. And as we hit these topics and these scenarios one last time, take your deep breath and step into newness. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. I know it's not always that rosy, but we can, I don't know, we can try to make it right. It's always, but I think looking at the glass half full rather than half empty, as much as we're able to. I don't know, blame that at Jupiter in my midheaven, in the sign of Leo, in my chart, maybe. Anyways, that's all I got for this week. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope what I say makes sense. And I hope you find a way to step into newness this week. I hope you find a way to shut that door and walk forward and move forward with something. Sunday, you can look for a new intention for next week. Like I said in the beginning, you can find that on Facebook page, Instagram page, the YouTube community tab, and on the meditativeastrology.com on our website. That's the hub for all things meditative astrology. So, as always, I am here for you. If you need anything, send me a quick message. Facebook is probably the best way to reach me there, unless you know how to reach me personally. And yeah, always, it's been a little while since I've said this, but I'm still always open to like thoughts, suggestions, comments, critiques about all of this, as long as it's done in a constructive way. Yeah, I am always open to hearing what you think and what you have to say. Let me know what you think about the Tarot Card Association. Not something that is regular around here, but yeah, let me know what you thought of the association that went along with it. One last time, I don't know, probably can't see the cards that I use here, but oh, Affirmators Tarot deck. It's really, 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 I don't know, it's a really pretty deck. All of the pictures have, they're kind of like cartoon. They're all animals. I love animals. And my best friend picked up this deck for me, so yeah, that's what makes it so special to me. So thank you, all of you, and yeah, I appreciate all of you too. Thank you. Have a good night.